You had the lobola and the traditional ceremony, which was 7 years ago, right? Why now? Why did you want to do the white wedding?
I wanted a home. I've always wanted a home, and that's my little thing that I needed to deal with. And he's also someone that's always wanted a home.
And he said you two are very similar. He said it's like
we are the same person.
We are the same person. Yeah.
It's the craziest thing. And we had that in common. So we thought, listen, we really don't need a white wedding because it's just going to be a celebration. We're going to spend our money and we won't have a home to go to that doesn't have a past.
Hello everyone, Ganesh Sanak and welcome to my channel. The divorce of international DJ Black Coffee and actress Enhle Mbali is back in the spotlight. This comes after the latest judgment by the Constitutional Court this past Wednesday on prenups, or what we call anti-nuptial contracts after customary marriage. Black Coffee added fuel to the fire by recently commenting on the topic on social media, boldly claiming that he and Enhle never intended to enter into a customary marriage and that they were unmarried when they signed an anti-nuptial contract in 2017. Now, obviously, Enhle shares a completely different view based on the clip I played from her 2017 interview with Anele. Anyway, back to the recent case. The divorce case on which the Constitutional Court set precedent is almost identical to that of Black Coffee and Enhle. The difference, though, is that Black Coffee is disputing ever marrying Enhle customarily. In his High Court documents, he disputed the existence of a valid customary marriage. He argued that although certain cultural events took place in 2011, there was no intention on his part to enter a customary marriage. According to him, those events did not result in a completed marriage under customary law. He also recently responded to Penwell on social media, saying that both he and Enhle never intended to enter into a customary marriage. I'm sure Enhle is going like, please don't include me in that ignorance mess. He added that when they signed the anti-nuptial contract in 2017, it was recorded that they were unmarried. Now, I'm not sure if it's complete ignorance or genuine lack of understanding on his part, but what he's missing is that people in customary marriages are reflected as unmarried at Home Affairs, even though the customary marriage itself is fully recognized in law. It's really just a matter of taking the lobola letter, pictures of the celebrations, and similar evidence to prove that the customary marriage was entered into. It's honestly not that hard to prove or register. Anyway, back to similarities. In this case, the couple entered into a customary marriage in 2011, just like Black Coffee and Enhle. They later converted their customary marriage into a civil marriage. After the conversion, the husband initiated divorce. Also similar to Black Coffee and Enhle, the couple only signed an anti-nuptial contract when converting a civil marriage and not before their customary marriage in 2011. In 2025, the High Court ruled against the husband, finding that the anti-nuptial contract signed years after the customary marriage was invalid. The anti-nuptial contract was signed in 2019, whereas the customary marriage was entered into in 2011. The court held that changing from in-community of property requires court approval and cannot be done through an anti-nuptial contract alone. It also raised concerns that parts of the law allowed changes without proper protection, especially for women. Now, fast forward to this past Wednesday, 21 January 2026, the Constitutional Court delivered its ruling declaring anti-nuptial contracts signed after a customary marriage invalid. The court emphasized that marriage property rules cannot be changed by an anti-nuptial contract once a customary marriage has begun. It added that a later civil marriage does not cancel the customary marriage but forms part of one continuous marriage. As a result, the marriage remains in community of property by default unless an anti-nuptial contract was signed beforehand. Any move to separate estates or make major changes must go through the court for approval, not through a civil marriage or an anti-nuptial contract. Just like the husband in this case, Black Coffee also lost in the High Court in October 2025. The judgment went in Enhle's favor, with the court invalidating their 2017 anti-nuptial agreement because it was signed years after their 2011 customary marriage. And now, with the Constitutional Court dropping its ruling a few days ago, Black Coffee's appeal to the Supreme Court of Appeal looks really tough on the property side because Constitutional Court rulings are supreme and binding on all other courts, including Supreme Court of Appeal, where he has taken the matter. So it's going to take a whole lot, like some serious legal magic, for Black Coffee to win this appeal. By the way, I'm picking up that Black Coffee does not take customary marriage seriously, and his legal team is not helping at all. It's like those advising Nandi Pamakudumana. She has been appealing her arrest from one court to another for almost 3 years now. South Africa has a lot of corruption that you can usually take advantage of, but there are situations so extreme that even a lot of money cannot get you what you want. You can appeal until you are blue in the face. Anyway, we'll have to wait and see what the Supreme Court of Appeal decides later this year regarding Black Coffee's appeal. The appeal is expected to focus mainly on whether a valid customary marriage was ever concluded, with particular emphasis on consent, because Black Coffee says he never consented to a customary marriage. It's actually worse than consent, because he specifically wrote that they never intended to get into a customary marriage. So I want to know, when he was sending his family to go and pay lobola to Entle's family, and it was followed by cultural events, including that celebration, I'm guessing it's a traditional wedding, what did he think that was? Because they went on to look for a house together and lived like husband and wife. Was that not marriage? Because he's saying he only got married in 2017, meaning he does not recognize anything prior that. Gaslighting much? It's one thing for Black Coffee to appeal to the court to at least recognize the 2017 anti-nuptial contract that they signed, but it's another thing altogether to now say he doesn't recognize the 2011 customary marriage because it didn't meet the requirements, he had no intention of entering into it. So I want to see a judge in 2026 that's going to believe Black Coffee when he says, although there were cultural events that occurred in 2011, he had no intention of entering into a customary marriage. So what was the intent, or intention as he put it, of paying lobola and being part of those cultural ceremonies? I'm willing to bet that he was referring to Entle as his wife after paying lobola, yet he says they only got married in 2017. But I'm willing to bet that he was referring to Entle as his wife privately and publicly before that 2017 prenup. Oh, and he must not lie on Entle and say they both did not intend to enter into a customary marriage. Here's proof that Entle was well aware of the customary marriage. Yena agati he had no intention, but remove Entle out of it.
And you bought the house across the road?
We bought the house across the road. I remember walking in. It was an old, ugly, shabby, literally. All our neighbors just thought, they bought that house?
Yeah.
I walked into the yard and I said, yep, this is home. Called Nat, he said, listen, I've spoken to this person, we've spoken to them, we're starting the process, finish off, whatever the case is. And Bob's your uncle. We started building and now we have a home, and then we could have the wedding. Because we had the marriage going, it's just the wedding.
Oh, okay. When you felt that the money that you're having spent on the wedding is not taking away from your dream of having a home, then you could have a wedding.
My dream was more important than the wedding.
Because he was the one pushing the white wedding more than you were.
Yes.
But it was beautiful.
It was lovely. It was lovely. I enjoyed it. We had so much fun. It didn't feel like a wedding. It was warm. Everyone that was there just understood it's not about anything else but getting crunk. We don't drink, but we got crunk of everyone's energy. So it was lovely. Oh, it was lovely.
And when you woke up that morning, were you feeling like a queen and majestic? Was it like, or were you just like, it's normal?
I had my hair in cornrows. My girls and I all slept in one room. We had a slumber party night before, and my sister woke up and everyone's like, aren't you nervous? And I kept saying, guys, do you realize we have been married for 7 years?
Yeah.
The only thing that's happening right now is a party, and I'm going to be in a white dress like every girl wants to be. We want to be that Cinderella for one day. I was not nervous. Everyone around me was panicking though.